Hello, hello, hello. In marketing, the term messaging refers to how an organization talks about itself and the value it provides related to positioning. Messaging is an approved set of key points or messages that an organization uses to communicate about something with its target audience. So, a typical messaging framework would be brand promise, positioning statement, target audience, then your primary message, which is usually broken down in three key pillars. Hi, I'm Rasheeda Green. I am the founder of Mompreneur HQ, where we help moms start, grow, and scale their own home-based virtual business so that they can build the life of their dreams without neglecting themselves or their families in the process. Here at the Mompreneur HQ, we provide resources for moms, tips and direction. We provide direction and coaching. Mainly through the coaching, we help women to open up and see what it is through their passions and what it is that they would like to do. Through their passions, what types of business and services can they offer? How to identify what their client avatar is. Who is it that they're speaking to or selling or serving? And then we also talk about the basic business setup. So, how to start a business, which type of entity should you start, the process that you need to start to actually trademark your business name and slogan and tagline even. So we go over things like that in our coaching, as well as identifying your niche, working through those money blockages that you might have as far as money mindset and business entrepreneurial mindset. Because honestly, when you're coming from working in your regular 9 to 5 as an employee, it can be difficult to transition into a CEO. But that is enough about Mompreneur HQ and how we are here to serve you. And one of the things that we are going to be discussing today is messaging. And that's what I want to share with you, because I know there is a lot of confusion around messaging. And if you are an entrepreneur who has a business, but you don't seem to get the audience or the clients that you're looking to get, you find it that just all kinds of people are coming to you about all kinds of things, when you're thinking to yourself, well, I sell this, so why didn't they get that, or why don't they know that? And sometimes it really is just about your messaging, how you're presenting yourself to your marketplace. And that's what we're going to discuss today. If you are here live, then go ahead and put in the comments, #live. And if you are watching via replay, make sure you let us know that you are watching via the replay. And if you find value in the information today, we are going to, at the end of this session, we're going to ask you to share this information with your friends, family, and other business partners so that everyone can get some free knowledge and information about how to proceed in business as a mom entrepreneur or as an entrepreneur in general, because messaging is an important part of entrepreneurship. All right, so let's go. It's not about posting or writing more. It's not about creating more images or infographics. It's not about overloading your Facebook group or your Facebook page with tons and tons of posts and pictures and quotes. But perfecting your message is all about consistency and staying in front of the right audience. So it doesn't matter if you're posting 700 messages a day. If it's not to your ideal client, and I know that I talk about that a lot, your client avatar, then it is almost a moot point. You're really just spinning your wheels, as you see the hamster wheel example that a lot of people can use, that you're just running in circles, spinning in circles, chasing your tail, all the other anecdotes or metaphors that you can use for simply just wasting time. So I have come up with about 21 ways to help you to spread your message, your content, and take part in your ideal community's daily conversations. And so, if you have your pencil, pen, whatever writing utensil, and something to write with, or if you're the keynote type of person, or you have it on your app where you're just dropping some information in your phone, feel free to get ready because these tips are going to be very helpful if you already have an existing business and you're kind of struggling with trying to get out in front of your ideal client. These 21 tips will definitely help. And even if not all 21 is applicable to you and your business, you can certainly gain something to help you narrow down and perfect your message so that you can get the type of clients you desire in your business. All right, here we go. Number one, use a time tracking sheet. A lot of times we find ourselves not being consistent or being able to get out our message like we need to because of time. We say, oh, we just don't have enough time in the day. And we talk about that a lot as mompreneurs. Time is money, and we know that. But we also know that we have so many obligations that it becomes a little difficult to manage time and make it more productive so that you can make more money. So that's why it's important as tip number one. Tip number one, use a time tracking sheet, something that's going to help you to narrow to focus on what your time should what focus on where your time goes so that you know where to cut the fat, so to speak, trim the fat. And if you've been telling yourself you don't have time to add more platforms to your messaging or create more content, then do yourself the huge favor and track your time for at least 2 weeks. I know 2 weeks sounds a lot, like a lot of time, but really, you could potentially do it in 1 week. But doing it in 2 weeks would allow you to be able to see the consistency in or not in how you spend your time. And if you looking at 2 weeks, it's not just okay, this Tuesday I did this, or this Thursday I did that. Now you're looking at 2 Thursdays, you're looking at 2 Tuesdays. And so being able to do that over the course of 2 weeks will really help you to see how mind-blowing it is and how eye-opening it is to be able to figure out where others interrupt you, which tasks take too long to complete, what you are doing that you need to change, or where you just plain waste time. Tracking your time helps you see exactly how much money you are making and losing. This can do more to help you narrow your focus and concentrate on your messaging than all the articles or books in the world, right? Number two, schedule and plan content creation time. Now, we've talked about being able to use products like Hootsuite, and even now, Facebook has a scheduler that you can use to schedule out posts. But scheduling out the posts might be simple in comparison when you think that you actually have to write the posts. You have to coordinate the posts and then put it in the scheduler to schedule the post. So building in a block of time every day for content creation, no matter how small a block, it could be a 15-minute block that you dedicate to just making sure that you write out some posts that you want to share. Again, there's nothing wrong with um, quote post or question post or poll post. You want to definitely have a mixture of the type of posts that you use in your platforms, whatever platform you choose to use. It's perfectly fine, but you definitely want a good mix of posts so that you're not just everyday posting about quotes, you're not just everyday posting questions, but you're also positioning yourself to be able to also sell to your group. That's another opportunity with Facebook groups and Facebook communities, is to be able to monetize your groups. So it is important that you schedule and plan content creation time so that if you find it too restrictive to schedule a block of time, then schedule one writing task per day, whether that be writing just one post about a particular quote, one post about some intimate detail or some situation or story that you have that you want to share that where you've overcome in business, something personal is what I'm getting at. Then, once a day, make sure that you're writing out something. Just enough room to write one post, create an infographic, or write your Twitter feeds for the week. Now, Twitter is pretty much short to the point. So being able to write a whole Twitter feed for the week it should be pretty quick. And you want to be able to do that sitting down and do that at least one time a week. Or you can just plain work on refining your message. Put the time in to refine your message. What is it that you want to say to people? What is it that you want them to know? What is it about your product that is so special, right? Then number 3, we want to talk about considering Instagram. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Instagram is for them young folk. Well, you don't have to be the teeny bopper, on Instagram, but you can certainly use Instagram to direct traffic to your website or direct traffic to your Facebook business page so that you can actually get more customers' eyes on your message and, of course, then subsequently on your product. If your target audience is between 18 and 29 in age, then be aware that 60% of this age group loves Instagram. So I'm saying, is your target audience between 18 and 29? Do you know who your target audience is? Do you know where they are online? Do you know what it is that they're looking for in terms of retail, books? Are they into books? Are they into reading? What websites are they on? What podcasts are they listening to? All of this is great information that you would need to know as a business owner in order to get your message clean, concise, and just perfect. In order to get a perfect message, you need to know who your perfect client is. I know we've talked about ideal client avatar before, and it really was helpful to some of you. So I would like you to revisit that Mom Live if you have a chance to be able to narrow down your ideal client so that you can speak to them fluently without any confusion as to what it is that you're trying to get them to buy or what it is that you're trying to sell, right? So we want you to make sure if you are using Instagram that you use hashtags with your Instagram images to boost engagement, another 15% or more. So yes, using images can boost your engagement on Instagram. So because it is a pictorial site, so to speak. All right, so Instagram, think about using Instagram. And as I alluded to a moment ago, hashtags. Get specific with your hashtags. Just as you look for unique, specific keywords to use in your messaging, you need to also do that with hashtags. You want to avoid the temptation of being generic because generic will mean that you're going to get lost or swamped or covered in a sea of other posts. And if you are not using keywords and images and hashtags that are relevant, then the people that you're looking for may not see you. And let me just give an example. If you use, and I'm not saying you can't use these things, you want to use them wisely. You want to have a good mix of hashtags so that the right people can find you. So if you're an entrepreneur and you say hashtag entrepreneurship, if you were to search hashtags on Instagram, for example, you can start with you can search just using hashtag and start any word, and you'll find a whole bunch of hashtags that come up using that word or that hashtag. And then those hashtags, next to the hashtag, it'll have a number. And that number is pretty much how many people have, how many references to the hashtag has been made. So when you have a hashtag that has over 1.5 million posts about it, you and your post is likely to get lost. So you want to kind of, there's some rules to hashtag. We're not really going to get into, although I was just about to, I was itching to say some things, but just in general, hashtags, mix them up. It's okay to use the big ones, but you should be more specific about which hashtags you want to use for your business so that you can get the right people into your business. Because if you're using hashtags that have 1 point something million, 2 point something million people using it, then your post is more than likely going to get lost and people are not going to see it. So you want to have a unique hashtag that is specific to you so that anybody who is looking for you can find you through your hashtags. And it's also just a convenient way to be able to scroll through just the stuff that you posted. So that's also useful. You want to have didn't I say I wasn't going through this? Here I go. Well, that's because I'm so excited about sharing things with you all and helping you to build your business. So I'm going to go ahead and say hashtags. Second point would be to make sure you're using a local hashtag. So if you're in California, or let's make it more specific, if you're in Howard County or something like that, you would say you would use a hashtag with Howard County in it, so that people who are local would be able to actually find you. And in most cases, the local hashtag will not have as many posts as a general hashtag. However, it can if your local hashtag is just on and popping like that. And then you also want to consider using a hashtag that people in your a popular hashtag that people in your particular niche are also using, so that you can kind of borrow off of the people or the feed of people that those people have in their community. So those are just 3 tips. That is not it at all, but I did say I was going to move on and not take all day with these hashtags. But just the last hint, you want to search for unique hashtags with strong evidence of relevance to your mission statement. That's another business term, mission statement. If you're going to be starting a business, your business should have a mission statement, a vision statement, some value statements. Those are all things that we talk about, in our coaching experience, coaching relationship. If you decide to work with me in a coaching relationship, these are some of the things that I would work with you to help develop your business mission, vision, and values so that you can get started with your business and know exactly what it is that you aim to do with your business so that you can perfect your message and have your business stand right in front of the people that you're looking to serve, right? I am only up to point number 5, but we're going to talk about using transitional phrases. To make your content flow smoothly without tripping the reader up, use transitional phrases to bridge each paragraph to the next. Some examples would be, hey, before you decide, that's when I realized. If you're still not sure, rather than just going from a period on a sentence and then going to a whole new other sentence, this kind of like brings in some a pause or a bridge, a connecting of what you said and what you're trying to say or what you're going to present to them so that they know how to connect the dots there. And couple other phrases would be, the best part is, on top of that, right? Let me break this down. Here's how. Those are terms that are connectors. And and even when I said them, you kind of figured out that I had to have said something before then in order to bring that statement in, right? So that's what I mean by a bridge, a connector. Number 6, get rid of weak beginnings. Now, when we're talking about messaging, where you would normally find your messaging is on your website. So again, something we would work with, I would work with you on getting you a website for your business. A website is not the end all be all. It is just a glimpse of your business unless you actually use that as your content hub. And a content hub is basically where you send all your customer traffic so that they have one place to go. And then if they needed to find something, it would be right there. Right. So when you're talking about messaging on your website, you want to make sure that you're really clear on what you're saying. We don't need fluff. We don't need phrases that are just extra for no reason. And actually, and I'm gonna tell you, this is how we talk. We talk extra. We talk with extra words. When we're saying things, in general, we don't just say the thing. And I'm talking about moms, women in particular, but we just don't say the thing. So if we if we're looking at perfecting our message, we want to make sure that we say what we mean and mean what we say. That goes home. That goes for the same in your household, right? If you're constantly saying something to your children and then not following through, they are learning to not trust your word. They're learning not to trust what you're saying. And therefore, what it ends up happening is they test you. They will test you because mommy said, don't uh don't go on YouTube or I'm going to put you on punishment. Then mommy catches me on YouTube, but she didn't put me on punishment. She just took the computer away, or she just turned the computer off, or she just told me to or she just told me to go grab something or go clean up something. But I was still able to get the computer the very next minute. It wasn't really like no big deal. So that is what a mismatched communication would be at home. And so in writing for your website, that is mismatching and using fluffy words instead of being specific and direct, and then following through with that is something that you would need to consider for in order to perfect your messaging in writing. So we don't want to say insert phrases that don't really mean anything at the beginning of a paragraph or a sentence. It's nothing more than a bad habit that that we may have that make us sound indecisive, right? So, for example, two examples rather, and I want you to choose, right? Basically, I think people who skydive know no fear, or people who skydive know no fear. Can you hear how basically made you sound like maybe she's not sure about that? She's not convinced of her own statement. So if you're writing a letter to your BFF, it's okay to just add descriptive words and just put stuff in there, but not when you're writing content to present yourself as an authority figure. That's when you have to get rid of fluff and the pretty words, get rid of all those weak and tentative phrases and speak with confidence. All right, number 7. This might sound funny. It may even sound obvious. But number 7 is stay with your message. It takes practice to stay with your message. We can go off hinge. Hey, I've done it a couple times in this one session. We can go off hinge in a second. It doesn't take much, especially when we're multitasking. We're just doing one thing over here and another thing over here. While anecdotes and examples can make a post or email more interesting, they can also detract if they don't precisely mirror or demonstrate your main point. You got to get into the habit of rereading what you've written with the eye of a tangent hunter, right? The eye of a tangent hunter. You're looking for those words or phrases that kind of steer you off into a tangent, like, oh, no, and bring it back. No matter how brilliant the tangent is, you have to remove it to a different file for use in another piece of content. It's probably really good, but it needs to be somewhere else where it's relevant. So save it, if you're writing it, if you're typing it, save it in a Google Doc and put it in a little note on the side. This is juicy. Save this for later, right? What you also want to do is write and display your main point. If you do have trouble going off topic while you write, print or write out your main point and stick it up beside your computer where you can see it all the time. It really helps to keep one on track. If you need help staying on track, get that sticky note, put it on your computer. Be sure to take it down the instant you finished with that piece of content so that you're not going back to it, because that can also be a problem. That, if it's constantly in your face, even though you've moved on, now what you're going to do is start going back and thinking, oh, I need to fix that. Oh, I have to change that. Oh, let me fix this. Let me change this. Let me update this. Let me cut this out. So when you've actually inputted the point that you had written down, or the main point that you were trying to focus on, when you've actually done that focus, take it off of take the sticky note, toss it, do whatever you need to do so that it's not now a distraction, because it just sitting there is going to be another distraction to you. And we're trying to perfect our message. Number 9, use you messaging. You want to talk directly to your ideal customer, that one person, not several. No matter how many people you're writing for, it's better to say you may be feeling invisible than to say a few of you may be feeling invisible, right? You want to give people the impression that you're talking to, even if you're talking in a big crowded room, that you're just singling that one person out, right? You brings them closer when you talk to one person in your messaging. It's more like having coffee with a friend and leaning in for a private discussion. And when we use the you statement in messaging, we are identifying that one person. And I think if you've been listening to me at any point of time, then you know that I also say that if you are speaking to everyone, you're selling to no one. Because if you're speaking to everyone, no one's thinking that you're actually talking to them. Okay? You want to use you in call to actions, headlines, email subject lines. See how the changes affect you feels more immediate and urgent than click here for more information. Right? So you get that? Number 10, use interrogative words. Journalists and detectives always base their investigations and research on why, who, what, when, and where. Why messages are much more compelling than how messages, unless you're looking to put together a set of shelves, right? Human beings are naturally curious about motivations. Why? Because motivations can provide real connection and prove that the writer is just like the reader. You feel more connected. Give people the why in something, and you've convinced them of the importance. Who, usually that's you, you're talking to the reader. But if you're presenting a case study, choose someone they can identify with and relate to. If you're presenting a prominent expert, introduce them as soon as possible to keep people reading. So if you have this expert that you're going to be highlighting, don't introduce them so far down in the text of your messaging that because not everybody's going to make it to the bottom part of your messaging. And 2, if that's a highlight, you want to really just highlight it. What is good when you're getting down to describing features, right? What will I get if I buy this product? And remember to give when details if you are talking about live events or courses. It's amazing how many people sometimes forget this small detail. And likewise, where, okay? And as it looks like we are rolling down into our time. We have given you 10 of these perfecting messages, 10 tips of how to perfect your message. However, we still have about 11 more. So we'll be coming back to you to be able to break down the other 11 tips on how to perfect your message and spread it across all of your platforms. I hope that you've gotten some value from our lesson on today. And if so, please feel free to like and share our our live stream. And if you have any, in the course of the time that we've been discussing, if you had any comments, any suggestions, or any feedback that you would like to share regarding what we've discussed today, then I would love to see your comments. So in your questions, and I'll be able to go ahead and answer any that are posted. Remember, you can always come check us out in the Mompreneur HQ private Facebook group if you are actually viewing us from the Facebook business page. And you can always go to www.themompreneurhq.com // oh Lord, I done forgot it. Well, listen, you know what it is, .com. That's all it is. And you can go on the webpage and you'll be able to see all the information that you need. And we also have some information. We also have a contact there if you want to reach out to me. And if you want to set up a clarity call where we get to talk and discuss about what it is that you're planning to do with your business, or even what discussion that we had today, perfecting your message, I am available for a clarity call. And that's where you have the /clarity-call. And that's a 20-minute call. We can talk about your business and what you plan to do and whether we're a good fit to work together as a coach and client relationship. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here in the Mompreneur HQ community. I am Rasheeda Green, host of the Mompreneur HQ community. And until next time.